Want to say hello and welcome. This is the first podcast for Mapping and Topography, course number DDT 2423 at East Central Community College, and this is the fall of 2011. In this podcast, we're going to discuss drawing legal descriptions, more specifically meets and bounds descriptions, in AutoCAD. I am your host and instructor, Chris Riles, here at East Central. Alright, so to start with, what you need to do is you need to open up AutoCAD. And the first thing we need to make sure that we've got is our menu bar. So if your menu bar is not showing, which my current screen there is no menu bar, you need to go up here to where your tool bars are, drafting and annotation. Go just to the right of that and you'll see this little arrow. It's kind of like a pause or an eject arrow. If you press that arrow, you'll see several different options for your quick access toolbars. Scroll down just a little bit and you'll see an option that says show menu bar. This option will allow you to see the menu bar options such as File, Edit, Insert, Format, etc., etc. So I'm going to click on that. If you look here, we've now got File, Edit, View, Insert, kind of the old-fashioned way of doing things. A lot of the newer programs through Microsoft are using the ribbon tool set. I like those a lot, but there's some things that are easier to get to from the menu bar. So we want to start here. First thing we want to do is we want to format our units. So I'm going to go up to Format, and I'm going to look for Units. So I'm going to click on Units. Here we've got a lot of different types of units. These are the changes that you want to make. For our angle type, we want to make sure that we're not using decimal degrees and we're using surveyor's units, because most legal descriptions use some form of a bearing, and we want to make sure that we're drawing that bearing properly. Also, setting up surveyor's units in this version of AutoCAD 2012 goes ahead and orients the top of the page to north, which is very important when we start drawing these legal descriptions. We want to set our precision all the way out to full seconds, so we want to make sure that we see north, 0 degrees, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, east. That's what you want to see. We're going to leave our length type as decimal. Seeing as decimal has no real unit set, this is the option that we want to select. Then we're going to come down here and click OK. Now I'm going to save my drawing before we get started, just to be sure. I'm going to save it under my H drive, just like you should do. So I'm going to go to Desktop, My Computer. I'm going to look for my H drive, and I'm going to save it under my H drive. So I'm going to save it as Legal Description. I'm going to click Save. And as you see, H drive, Legal Description up in the title bar. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to take our legal description. So I'm looking at the legal description that I gave you in class. It's plus or minus 10 acres, and we are finding it in Kemper County. It's in the northeast. We started in the northeast corner of Section 15, Township 10 North, Range 17 East. So that's our beginning point. So what we'd like to do is start at that point. Now, depending upon your experience in CAD thus far, you may not have used the point command much. So let's talk a little bit about the point command. I'm going to go up to Draw, and I'm going to find the point command. You can also type in PO. That also brings up the point command. So I'm going to click on this icon for multiple points. And it says specify a point, and pretty much you just place a point. So I'm going to click right here and place a point. Now, you can't really see much about the point. If I hit Escape, you just see this little dot, this little node that's been selected. This is not a good point style to be using because it's kind of hard to see, and once you get a complex drawing it may be difficult. So come up to Format on your menu bar. Look for point style. It's about 2/3 of the way down. And let's change that point style to something we can see a little bit better. I'm going to change to this option. I just kind of like it. It's got the square, it's got the crosshairs, it's got the circle. Looks pretty cool. Let's also make sure that our point size is set not relative to the screen, but set in absolute units. This way we know exactly how big our points are. Let's change that point size from 5. Let's change it to 15 and see how that looks. And click OK. Now it's going to look really huge right now, but once we start drawing, you'll see where this is really important. We want to be able to see the points that we're starting at. We're also going to be drawing pretty long lines, so we may even have to increase the size of this point just to make sure. I'm going to erase this point by drawing a green selection box and deleting the point. Now let's start drawing. So the first things first, if we look at our legal description, a little plat here we're going to draw, we're going to start at a point of commencement, which is a found 4-inch concrete monument at the northeast corner of Section 15, Township 10 North, Range 17 East. So we need to define that point. So the best thing to do would be to find a point with a point. So I'm going to use the point command. This time I'm going to type the command alias in, PO, and you see point pop up with the quick tips. I'm going to hit OK and enter. Alright, specify a point. I'm going to specify my point using a Cartesian coordinate system of northing and easting and northing. So for our first point, I'm going to use the coordinates 5,000, 5,000. This just ensures that I'm not going to have any negative values in the X or Y directions. I'm going to hit enter. It's going to look like there's nothing has happened. So first thing we need to do is go find that point. So I'm going to type Z for the zoom command, and I'm going to type E for extents. Now I'm typing enter in between these commands in case you haven't noticed. So Z enter, E enter. This will bring me out to my point so I can see it now. Pretty far away from where we started, from close to 0, 0. So this is going to be our point of commencement. This is going to be where we start. Alright. Next thing to do is to look at our first line. From our point of commencement, we're going into the property with a bearing of south 45 degrees 0 minutes 0 seconds west at a distance of 933.38 feet. So what we need to do is we need to draw this line based on the description that we have to go from our point of commencement to what would be our point of beginning, an iron pin that has been found. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the line command, and we're going to draw a line. We're going to start at the point 5,000, 5,000, and we're going to draw a line in the southwesterly direction. So first things first, when you're drawing an angled line, we need to remember the steps of drawing that line. The first part is we need to type the @ symbol. The @ symbol is going to bring up the option where you can insert at, a distance, and an angle. That's exactly what we want to do. The second part is our distance. So the distance for this line is 933.38. We don't need the foot mark because remember, we're in decimal units. They have no real units. Alright, then we're going to use our angle symbol, which is kind of the greater than, less than symbol. It's the closest one to M, so I'm going to have to press Shift and then that key. And this now activates the bearing side of this. So if you look, we're going to be going in a southwesterly direction, so I'm going to type S without any spaces, 45, D, D standing for degrees. We don't have a degree symbol on the keyboard, so we use the number or the letter D. 0 minutes, 0 seconds, west. And then we hit enter. And what we've done is we've drawn this line. So since we can't see the other end of it, let's zoom out a bit to see it. I'm going to hit the escape button to get out of the line command. I'm going to Z enter, E enter again so I can see everything. So as you can see, once we've zoomed out, our point of commencement looks kind of small compared to what this long line that we have, 930 something feet. So let's increase the size of our point style. Let's go here to point style. Let's go from 15. I said let's go to 30. Let's double it and click OK. That's a little bit better. Alright, now I want to place another point. So I'm going to type PO for the point command. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to click on the end of that line. This is going to define our next point, which is our point of beginning. If you look on the little plat that I have, the plat shows that this is an iron pin that has been found. So the surveyor went out and found this iron pin and used it as the point of beginning. The next step that we need to use is we need to draw the rest of the lines using the same method that we used before for this line. So I'm going to start by drawing the southwesterly line. So I'm going to start at my point of beginning, and I'm going to draw this line in. I'm going to press the @ symbol. I'm next going to do my distance. My distance is 660.01. My bearing is south, 0D for 0 degrees, 46 minutes, 35 seconds, west, and now I'm going to hit enter. And there's my line. It's been drawn. Now I'm going to draw the next line, just in sequence, inside of the line command. Type the @ symbol, type in my distance, 660.00 feet. My bearing is north, 89 degrees, 13 minutes, 26 seconds, west. There's my next line. So I'm going to draw the third one. I'm going to say @ my distance, which is 660.01. Angle symbol. I'm going to type in my bearing now, north, 0 degrees, 46 minutes, 35 seconds. And I need to put my east in there. Okay, enter. And now you can actually just come back and line back in with your point of beginning, because they should tie together. Now I've got my parcel drawn. So the next step is to place points on each corner. So I'm going to go up to the Draw menu and select Multi-Point. And I'm just going to place points around the perimeter. And there you go. Pretty much, there is your legal description. Now, this is kind of rudimentary. This is pretty much just drawing the lines and reading the description. But this is a pretty integral and important part to mapping a topography class. Thank you for your time. Hope this podcast was helpful. Please look back and read over this once again if you have any questions about it, or you can contact me at my email address at criles.eccc@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day.